Lira woke to the sound of tiny claws tapping outside her door. Dozens of them. She froze. Last night, only one alien cub slept curled against her chest. But now, a chorus of small voices whispered through the metal hallway. "Mom, Mom, are you awake?" Her heartbeat stumbled. She opened the door slowly and nearly dropped. The entire corridor was filled with Korthan cubs, big eyes glowing faint blue, ear frills fluttering with nervous excitement. Every single one of them looked straight at her, like she was the only safe thing in their world. The eldest cub, the one she rescued, stepped forward and pressed its head to her hand. "She chose you," it said softly, "so we choose you too." A tremor rolled through the warship, not from danger, but from the heavy footsteps of the adult Korthan warriors approaching. Lira braced for anger, punishment, maybe execution for stealing their young, but instead, they knelt, massive armored giants, bowing to a single human. "Our children have claimed you," the commander rumbled, "so the warship accepts you as their mother." Lira couldn't speak. She had come here as a prisoner. She was supposed to be bargaining for survival, not becoming the heart of an alien clan. And yet, as the cubs wrapped around her legs, chirping with relief, she felt something terrifyingly warm rising inside her. The cubs didn't leave her side for a single second. As Lira walked through the metallic corridors, they followed in a tight cluster. Little claws clicking on the floor, glowing eyes fixed on her like she was the only thing keeping their world together. The adult warriors stepped aside respectfully, some even bowing their heads. It felt unreal. Yesterday, she was a captive. Today, something else entirely. The Korthan commander kept glancing at her, almost nervous, which was absurd for a creature twice her height and covered in armor. Finally, he spoke quietly. "They sense storms before we do. The young chose you because they believe danger is coming." Lyra's throat tightened. "Danger from what?" Before he could answer, the lights flickered. Once, twice, then the entire warship jolted so violently that several cubs tumbled into her legs. She grabbed them instinctively, holding them close, as the sirens erupted through the ship. A red emergency beacon flashed. An enemy vessel had uncloaked right beside them. A Predator-class hunter ship, known for wiping out entire Korthan broods, the commander growled. "They are here for the children." The cubs clung to her. Their tiny voices trembled. "Mom, don't let them take us." Something fierce ignited inside Lira, something she didn't even recognize in herself. She wasn't a soldier. She wasn't a warrior. But she knew one thing: no one was going to take these little ones. "Show me what to do," she said. "I'm not letting them near them." The commander stared at her like she'd said something sacred. Then he pressed a glowing control panel on the wall, and a blast door slid open, revealing a chamber filled with shimmering defense drones. "They listen only to the brood mother," he said. "To you." Lyra's heart slammed. The cubs looked up at her in awe. She raised her hand toward the drones. And they awakened instantly, blue lights snapping to life like obedient guardians awaiting her command, a predator ship hunting their children, a human mother they never expected, a war she never asked for. What would you do if an entire alien species trusted you with their young during an attack? Tell me. The drones moved the moment Lira stepped into the launch bay, floating around her like a glowing shield. The cubs watched from behind the blast door, their tiny faces pressed to the glass, trusting her completely. That trust hit her harder than any weapon. The Predator ship slammed another shot into the Korthan warship, shaking the deck beneath her feet. Sparks rained from the ceiling. The commander staggered beside her, gripping the wall. They're breaching the hull, he growled. They'll head straight for the nursery. Lira didn't think. She felt something deep and instinctive. She raised her hand, and the drones swarmed toward the outer gates, forming a shimmering barrier just as the enemy cut through the metal with burning plasma. The first predator warrior stepped through. Tall, skeletal, eyes like cold needles. It hissed. "Give us the brood." Lira stepped forward before the commander could. The drones hovered close, humming like an army ready to strike. "You're not touching them," she said, voice shaking but firm. The creature tilted its head, confused. "A human. You defend them? Why?" She didn't have an answer, only a feeling. "They're mine." The predator lunged, fast, lethal, but the drones obeyed her instinct. They surged forward, blasting it backward with a force that shook the room. Another enemy charged, but the drones moved again, forming a wall of blue fire. Behind her, she heard the cubs whimpering softly, and something inside her snapped into place. She wasn't protecting them because they chose her. She was protecting them because she wanted to. A final explosion rocked the ship, stronger than the rest. The commander's eyes widened. "They've planted something," he said, "a pulse bomb. If it detonates, the young won't survive." Lyra's blood ran cold. A bomb. On the ship. Seconds ticking. And then a small voice whispered behind her, "Mom, please don't let us die." She turned, her heart splintering, dozens of cubs staring at her with absolute faith. She had no training, no plan, only one choice. She took a deep breath. "Show me where the bomb is. I'll go." The corridor to the engine core was collapsing, piece by piece, smoke pouring from torn pipes, sparks snapping like angry fireflies. Lira sprinted through it anyway, guided by the faint beeping of the bomb's signal and the desperate memory of the cubs' trembling voices. The commander's voice crackled through the comm. "Human, you won't make it in time." But she didn't slow down. She couldn't. Not when she pictured those small, glowing eyes looking up at her with absolute belief. She burst into the engine chamber. And there it was, a black pulse bomb fused to the reactor, pulsing brighter every second, counting down to the moment it would wipe out every child on the ship. She ran to it and dropped to her knees. The device was alien, sharp-edged, humming with unstable energy. She didn't know how to defuse bombs. She barely knew how the reactor worked. But something happened. The moment she touched it, the bomb reacted to her bio-signal, the same strange bond that let her control the drones. Her heartbeat synced with its pulse. And slowly, the lights on the bomb hesitated. Behind her, enemy footsteps scraped on metal. The predators had followed one, hissed softly. "You cannot stop it, but you can die with them." Lira didn't turn. She kept her shaking hands on the bomb, forcing her breathing to slow, syncing herself to its rhythm. She wasn't thinking, she was feeling, the same way the cubs had chosen her. Her pulse softened. The bomb's lights dimmed. Then, a sharp blue flash erupted outward. The bomb didn't explode. It collapsed inward, like the energy had recognized her as the brood mother and simply obeyed. The predators lunged at her in rage, but the commander crashed through the doorway with a roar, knocking them into the wall as drones swarmed and pinned them down. It was over. When Lira returned to the nursery, the cubs rushed her in a tidal wave of tiny claws and soft chirps, burying her in warmth. One whispered into her neck, "Mum saved us." For the first time, Lira didn't correct them. She just held them, trembling with relief. The commander bowed deeply. "You are one of us now." And in that moment, in the heart of a warship that had once held her captive, she felt something she hadn't felt in years.